Look at this.
左
And
に行きたい
this.
と思ったら左に動きました。
And this. AI is taking off in Japan.
中国製の AI
ロボットの
AI アートに特化したオークションが始まりました。
Japan is frequently touted as being technologically advanced. And while it has a lot of this, it also has a lot of this. Japan has problems. The population is declining, the economy isn't what it used to be, and Japan's at risk of being left behind as the 21st century marches on. So, it's betting big on AI and selling it as the solution to many of its woes. Already, AI is beginning to be embraced in a wide range of uses. So, is there more to Japan's AI boom than just generated pictures and email writing chatbots? And what role will it play in Japan's future? Is it just the latest tech fad like NFTs and virtual reality, or does it have the potential to propel Japan into its idealized future? Let's find out. When it comes to AI adoption, Japan is lagging behind other countries. But in a lot of ways, the AI boom here is only just beginning. Only about 9% of people in Japan said they use AI, but almost half of businesses already are. And these figures are expected to grow significantly every year. Japanese people also tend to have a positive outlook toward AI and its potential impact on the future. More and more, the Japanese government is marketing Japan as a leader in AI. Japan hosted the G7 Summit on Artificial Intelligence and wants to make the country an international hub for AI. It also promotes homegrown AI products and puts out slick videos with buzzwords like
boosting competitive strength, ensuring safety and security, aiming for a sustainable future.
The government has put out AI guidelines, but has yet to pass actual laws or place guardrails. Like in many countries, AI in Japan is still very much the Wild West of tech. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I'm skeptical of AI. The promise and potential of it is certainly huge. It is incredible that a computer program can learn and solve problems on its own, without the need for humans to code each and every command and action. But for me, many of the drawbacks remain quite glaring. You've probably heard most of the arguments before, so I won't bore you with the details. But I don't think I'm alone in being concerned about the impact on art and creativity, and the potential for AI to eliminate jobs is alarming. People have talked about this a lot online, but I think one of the most frustrating aspects about AI from a consumer perspective is how tech companies in particular are shoving AI-enhanced products down our throats, without much thought or consideration for the usefulness or purpose of them. Because so many of these AI products have been touted all over the internet and pushed so hard by these tech companies, I've actually tried to use some of them. And in my personal experience, I've seen laughably bad AI-generated images from ChatGPT, an AI-enhanced Siri that's somehow now even worse at answering simple questions, and received information from Google's Gemini AI that was completely factually incorrect because it sourced its information from a Reddit alternate history page. So if this is what we get when the richest and most powerful tech companies start pushing AI, I'm sure nothing could go wrong when all parts of Japanese society start embracing it, right? So at first I wanted to talk about some of the more unique AI products and services I've seen rolled out here in Japan. The first thing I wanted to talk about is something you may have never heard the name of, but have probably seen before, especially if you've been to Japan. It's called Irastoya, and you can find illustrations from this site all over Japan, including in public, on social media, and even on government websites. The biggest reason they're everywhere is because they're totally free. The creator charges nothing to use them, and places almost no restrictions on their use. But I think they're also popular because they're just sweet. The style is so cute and distinct, there's so many different types of images, and they're all instantly recognizable as belonging to the Irastoya brand. Illustrations for whatever you could need are on the site. There's even crossover with popular anime and manga characters drawn in the Irastoya style. But when I recently went to the Irastoya website and saw this tab for Irastoya AI, I was a little bit surprised. For one thing, if you're the artist behind this, doesn't it kind of cheapen your work to be like, a computer can do my drawings as good as me? If I suddenly replace my YouTube channel with like an AI prompt box and was like, I don't know, you can put in whatever you want and it'll be just as good as my handcrafted video, I do feel like that would discount my work a little bit. So it's just kind of bizarre, right? But probably the worst part is that the actual AI generation tool is not very good. It's fairly competent if you give it super simple prompts, but even still there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the characters and the backgrounds and everything. And if you insert a prompt that's even a little bit complex, it's over. Everything becomes incredibly wacky. It feels less like some kind of specifically crafted tool and more like some kind of haphazardly slapped on addition. It's like they said, I don't know, just have like ChatGPT or something scan through the whole archive and do its best to copy our images. It's kind of hard to understand like what they were thinking and how this got approved, especially in the state it's in now. The next thing I want to talk about is related to the most scintillating topic I can muster: public transportation. If you know me, you know I have a casual interest in trains. I'm not a train guy, but I am a big fan of solid public transit that makes communities more convenient, healthier, and better places to live. So yeah, I like trains. I like buses less so, but they have their uses. They're not as comfortable, convenient, or efficient as trains, but there's always going to be places in a city where it makes more sense to have a bus than a train. My city's local transit authority operates both trains and buses. The trains kind of form the backbone of the network, while the buses connect neighborhoods to train stations and also serve areas further out. They're constantly updating their stock with new trains and buses to replace the aging vehicles, which is great. They've even started replacing many of the normal buses with electric buses. Recently, however, they unveiled a new AI-powered self-driving bus that's being marketed as the first of its kind in Japan. So I do think the promise of self-driving cars is enticing. I do think there are solid arguments to be made that a computer could in theory drive a car safer than a human. However, the self-driving cars we have now are far from perfect and come with a range of unexpected consequences. Japanese law does allow for self-driving cars on roads for testing purposes, but it does not allow for the kind of driverless vehicles like Waymo that we've seen unleashed on American cities in recent years. But these AI buses are already on the road in my city in a limited capacity. So how do they legally do this? They have licensed bus drivers sitting in the driver's seat, ready to take over the vehicle if something goes wrong. I feel like it's a sign that this kind of technology is not yet ready for the prime time, if self-driving bus driver has become a job. On a more serious note, however, AI technologies are already being rolled out in ways that have significant impacts on real people's lives. The Japanese government has been openly promoting some of these privately developed systems, including an AI-based crime prediction software. Called Crime Navi, it uses a wide range of data to predict when and where crimes might happen. This enables law enforcement to more effectively plan their patrol routes and determine where resources are best allocated. The software is already being used in Japanese cities and has even been tested in municipalities across Latin America. While this kind of technology has been shown to reduce crime rates in certain areas, it's also received criticism. Apart from the downright dystopian implications, rights groups have been critical about how these kinds of technologies impact freedom of expression. And research has shown that AI crime models can aggravate police bias towards disadvantaged areas. I don't know what it is, but this also reminds me of something else. As easy as it is to criticize bad or concerning AI, I did want to take a step back and look at what's actually working here in Japan, and what could possibly have a positive impact on the future. The first one I wanted to talk about is a disaster management system that leverages AI called Specti Pro. Now, Japan is no stranger to natural disasters, and the devastating 2011 earthquake was made worse by a lack of up-to-date information about disaster areas. This software seeks to remedy that by scraping a wide range of data, including meteorological measurements, public camera footage, and even social media posts. The system has been widely adopted across Japan and East Asia, and has already proved itself as a useful tool for rescue operations in disaster areas. There's also another AI tool called Onsei that can detect signs of cognitive decline with 98% accuracy. It's a quick and easy test that can even be done at home and has the potential to be immensely impactful, especially considering the fact that early screening for diseases like dementia can make a big difference. And Japan is already in the midst of a serious elder care challenge that will only continue to get worse. And while there's a legitimate fear in the US and other countries that AI will take our jobs, there's legitimate optimism in Japan that AI can help solve labor shortages as the population continues to decline. So while there's a lot of reasons to be skeptical about artificial intelligence, I think there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful that the technology can help Japan overcome at least some of the problems it currently faces. That being said, AI isn't magic. It isn't a one-size-fits solution, and it isn't even a solution in of itself. The useful, groundbreaking AI we talked about were designed by incredibly smart people. Even the silly, faulty AI were probably created by people smarter than you and me. So if Japan is going to overcome its challenges for the future, it needs to place its faith in its most talented people, not some miracle technology.
Yeah.